The Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, one of the coolest auto racing events in the world. This annual reunion always showcases some of the most incredible race cars to have ever participated in motor racing, and this year's event is quite special because it's the 50th anniversary of this reunion. So I made the trip down to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca to attend this event. And in this video, I'll show you some of the iconic cars that were featured. First up, let's take a look at one of the highlights of the event, the Garage 56 NASCAR race car. This is a modified next-generation Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, and this particular car actually raced at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This was a collaborative effort between NASCAR, Chevrolet, Hendrick Motorsports, IMSA, and Goodyear, which saw NASCAR return to the 24 Hours of Le Mans for the first time since 1976, and this was to celebrate the centenary edition of this event held in 2023, while also celebrating the 75th anniversary of the NASCAR Cup Series. This is an iconic race car, and it was definitely a great addition to this event in 2024. Also at this event was a collection of iconic Mazda race cars, including the Mazda 767B with its classic renowned livery, and this particular chassis, the number 202, actually raced at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1989. Mazda Motorsports also brought the RX 792P, which actually raced in IMSA GTP in 1992, and in fact, this particular car is just one of 3 in the world. Also there was the Mazda Kuzo DLM MS97, which raced at Le Mans in 1997, and a Mazda RX-7, which raced in IMSA. And speaking of GTO cars, there was actually quite a few of them there besides the RX-7, including cars such as the Chevrolet Corvette C4 GTO and the Porsche 944 GTR, for example. Also featured at this event was the beautiful Lancia 037 rally car, and this is an iconic race car in Lancia's motorsport history, and it was also the last rear-wheel drive car to win the World Rally Championship. Besides the Mazda entries I mentioned already, there was quite a few FIA Group C and GTP race cars at this event. The cars included the Spice Buick SE87 GTP, the Lola T711 Corvette GTP, the Ford Mustang GTP, quite a few Jaguars including the XJR5, the XJR8 entered by McLaren CEO Zak Brown and United Autosports, and finally the XJR16 entered by driver Malcolm Ross. There was also quite a handful of Porsche 962s, which included the Lowenbrau number 14 entry, and this is considered to be one of the most successful 962 entries to ever exist. There was also the dominant Toyota Eagle Mkiii from All American Racers, which won the IMSA GTP championship. And in the very special section of Laguna Seca, there was 2 of my favorite race cars of all time, the Sauber Mercedes C11 and the Nissan GTP ZX Turbo. This particular C11 is a part of the wonderful story of the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans, where this car led the majority of laps, but unfortunately was forced to retire due to a water pump drive belt, effectively handing the lead to the Mazda 787B. As for the GTP ZX Turbo, it's a very successful car, gifting Nissan the IMSA GTP championship in 1989 and 1990. Also featured in this special area of the event was the BMW V12 LMR and the Audi R15 TDI, and in fact, both of these cars have taken the overall win at the 12 Hours of Sebring. Now this area in fact did feature some more special cars, including the Bentley 3-liter. Now this is a very old car, but for those that are unaware, not this particular chassis, but the 3-liter actually won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1924, making this car the second ever winner of this event. Now this next one is a very special Le Mans winner. This is the real Jaguar D-Type that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1956, and this particular car is the only surviving D-Type that won Le Mans, and still exists today. And so this is definitely one of the rarest cars at this event. The next car is another winner of a 24-hour race. This is the Ferrari 166mm, and it brought the Italian manufacturer the victory of the 24 Hours of Spa in 1949. And not this exact chassis, but a 166mm also brought Ferrari their first win of Le Mans that very same year. Also here was the Aston Martin DP215, which raced at Le Mans in 1963. Then there was the Chaparral 2, which actually won here at Laguna Seca all the way back in 1964. There was also a Shelby Cobra Daytona, which raced at Le Mans in 1965 and ran as high as 3rd place, and 2 iconic Alfa Romeo cars, including the Florian Tipo 33 and the Alfa Romeo C6 3000 CM Coupe. There was also quite a few GT cars that competed in a variety of recent endurance races. For example, there was the Ferrari 458 Squadra Corse entry that won the GTM category at Le Mans in 2016, the BMW M3 that competed within IMSA, and the Ford GT that actually raced at the 2019 24 Hours of Le Mans. The reunion also featured some very unique high-performance cars, such as the Bugatti Bolide, the Xeno 21C, and the BAC Mono. And as for single-seater entries, there was quite a few historic Formula 1 cars, such as the Maserati 250F, the Tyrrell 004, the Williams FW07C, the Lotus 77, the Ferrari 312 T2, and the Honda RA272, which was Honda's and Japan's first ever winning Formula 1 car back in 1965. And when it comes to single-seater cars, they weren't just from Formula 1. There was also a Lefkowski Indy Roadster, which raced during the 1962 Indianapolis 500. Going back to Honda, or rather Acura, there's actually 2 important prototypes here. One of which was the Acura ARX-01, and specifically the number 66 DeFerrin Motorsports entry. This car was piloted by the late great Gilles DeFerrin himself and Simon Pagenaud. These 2 drivers piloted this car during the 2008 American Le Mans Series. The second car was the Acura ARX-06, decked in a Honda Racing Corporation livery, and this is the same kind of car that currently races in IMSA's GTP category. German auto manufacturer BMW also had some historic race cars here, including the M1, the 3.0 CSI, which actually won here at Laguna Seca and at the 12 Hours of Sebring in IMSA in 1975, and the BMW-powered McLaren F1 GTR, which raced at Le Mans in 1997 and also has a fantastic livery as well. And to be clear, the reunion featured many more important race cars, such as the Audi R8 LMP, the Riley and Scott Mark III, the Porsche 910, the Oreca FLM09, many Porsche 935s, the Ford GT40, the Nart Ferrari 312P Spider, and a Ford Mustang GT3 from Gradient Racing, as the team is expected to switch from Acura machinery to Ford machinery in IMSA's 2025 season. And that's just a short list of the many cars that were at this event in 2024. I could go on and on with the huge variety of them. But that does indeed complete my tour of some of the iconic cars featured at this year's Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Also, I want to say a big thank you to Laguna Seca for allowing me into the content creator program for this event. I will for sure be back for the reunion in 2025 to witness some more iconic race cars. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in endurance racing and haven't already, I suggest subscribing, as I make content mainly on the WEC and IMSA every week. If you also want to watch another video right now, click one of the suggested options on your screen. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next video.